This episode of SESSLERS Something is brought to you by Jack Threads. So, as you hopefully know, Revision 3 is owned by the larger media company that is Discovery, and if you know anything about Discovery, you probably know about Shark Week, which is happening now, which gives me an opportunity to ruminate on something that has been a point of fascination since I was a very, very young child, and that is sharks. I was too young, being born in 1973, to actually go to a movie theater and see Jaws. But from those points, I start to actually have clear memories of being young. The ensuing sort of prevalence of Jaws and the Jaws myth were so in my mind that I don't really know a time that I was young that there wasn't, the sense of sharks and, Jaws and this scary thing that was out there. And I've always wondered what our level of fascination is with sharks, and I think it's very similar to our fascination with dinosaurs, with one key difference. Dinosaurs, we know they existed. We know that they're about as close as they can come to the popular imagination as being like actual living monsters. I mean, look, Godzilla, many things that we see out there, you can see how they're kind of based on what a dinosaur is supposed to be, and probably a lot of youthful fascination with it. Sharks are dinosaurs, but they still exist. It's this one thing that's out there that seems primordial, that's in the ocean, that seems to have this very kind of hell-bent nature on consuming things for its own existence. And it's a sense of mystery. A lot of people, obviously because of Jaws, you think that sharks are associated with fear. I have to say, I think they're more associated with hope. That it's that one kind of natural aberration that lets us think that there is that possibility, that potential in the world where things aren't so obvious, where things aren't so well explained, that there's mystery. There's something that is unknown or is unsettling that gives sort of the humdrum day-to-day existence that you, me, and just about anybody else has to deal with a sense of excitement. Now, what's interesting is when you contrast that with games, there are sharks in games. I cannot think of a single good one that is founded on a shark as its central motif, or God forbid, its central character. And I think that's because we can have monsters in games. We can imagine whatever we want, and that which the shark fulfills in real life, well, it's kind of carte blanche when you get into the video game world. And this role of the shark in society, this need for, if not the unknown, maybe unexplained, or at the very least, the untamed. It's that almost that desire for subtext, for deeper meaning, for something ominous that's lurking there right beneath the surface. And I think when we try to interpret what's happening in the game industry, time and time again, we're looking for the shark. We're somehow doing something manly on the side of a boat, trying to reel in that which scares us most. All right, we're going to get to this week's question in just a second, but first, let's thank this week's sponsor, Jack Threads. Shopping for clothes usually sucks, but Jack Threads makes it easy. They are the online shopping destination for dudes, offering apparel accessories from brands like Converse, Penguin, and Kid Robot. Best of all, you can skip the membership waitlist and support our show by going to signup.jackthreads.com/Sessler. All right. Question time. It took me a while, but I found a question that didn't have the three letters D, R, and M in it. And for that, I want to thank Chaos Nux. Hey, Adam, what do you think of video games being deemed a professional sport? Do you think it's considered a step forward for the medium, or will it work against it being seen as a form of art? This is a really, really good question. I'll explain why I'm really happy to be getting this question this week in a second. I like the idea of competitive games. I think that you can really kind of see what the possibilities are in multiplayer, and where good level design, good balancing of characters and how you can build things up, when it's really pushed to its extreme by people who are so devoted to one particular game and just really seem to understand how to play it at a preternatural level. Where I think I've always taken an issue is the word sport. And it's because that word comes with a lot of expectations. Obviously, American professional sports, especially football, are kind of based around this sense of sort of machismo. It's very loud, it's very boisterous, it tries to make things sometimes a lot more important than the practical application on the field needs them to be. And that's led in the past to certain presentations of esports being a little bit juvenile, and sometimes I think quite alienating to people who might find it fascinating, and that kind of a lower tempo way of covering it. And I kind of want to say, like, use chess as a model. We look at people like Garry Kasparov as sort of like, you know, these geniuses who can just kind of think their way strategically through a very particular situation under a high level of stress. And we revere them not so much as like kind of an athlete, but as a thinking competitor. And I think that might be a better analog to how we, approach competitive gaming rather than trying to impose the far more successful financially model that has been set by, football, baseball, tennis, that thing they do in Canada with the puck on the ice that is absolutely just, baffling to me. I don't think it really challenges games as a work of art, but what it does is it challenges our understanding of how can you have art and also have this sense of competition happening in the same place. And it's very tough to articulate, it's very tough to try to, resolve the two, but the fact is, it's already happening and we might as well get with it. On that note, I'm actually going to be doing an interview with a quite successful professional player of StarCraft. His name is Jeff Robinson. He's also well known for his casting. It is something that is fascinating for me. I'll be interviewing him this week. You'll be seeing the video very soon. Also, we're doing Address the Sess this week. This one should be a lot of fun. I'm not going to tell you any more than that. It's going to happen Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Go to youtube.com/rev3games, hit subscribe, and we're going to be sending out a link very, very shortly so that you can get in and maybe get in one of those, hallowed little window seats. It should be good.